The Kia K4 is essentially just Kia's replacement for the ever-so-loved previous Forte. Now, you may ask yourself, there's nothing really wrong with the Forte, and even when there was things that were wrong with the Forte, they never killed it before, so why now? Why would they replace it with the K4? Well, first off, they wanted the Forte to match the naming scheme of their new sedans, the K4 and K5. The new K naming scheme, which started off when they replaced the Optima with the ever-loved K5, is so that they gives them a little bit more breathing room when they want to introduce new models, right? And it more unifies the lineup. They already have the EV lineup with the EV6 and the EV9. They're unifying their lineup more, so having a unified lineup of sedans, the K4, K5, maybe a K3 Rio comeback, just suits them very well for a very modular, modern car company. It also completes their goal of wanting to redesign the Forte to match their new turn to the wild side. This is the redesign between the outgoing Kia Telluride and the new Kia Telluride that's supposed to come out late 2026, early 2027. Square hips and modern designs are the future for Kia, and the Forte no longer fit that cookie-cutter image. And when I say that the K4 is really just a replacement, or slightly more expensive replacement for the Forte, I really do mean it. They even share the same engine. These are two individual images that I've put side by side. The Forte is on the left, the K4 is on the right. We can see that the K4 was higher rated, but they both make the same amount of horsepower, and I'm assuming that that difference in miles per gallon calculation is probably due to the size or the aerodynamics of the K4 being a little tiny little bit worse than the outgoing Forte. Since the specs are the same, here we are. Get whatever information you would like. So we know what the car is, we know where the car is from, we know most things about the car, we know the car specs. Let's move on to the next section of this video. This section is all about comparing the K4 to its competitors, mainly the Accord and the Toyota Camry. Alright, these are the three cars, its two competitors, the Toyota Corolla and Honda Civic. That's right, its competitors are the Corolla and the Civic, not the Camry and the Accord. That would be the K5. So, believe it or not, I put price first to show you that usually with a Kia, the argument is, well, it's so much cheaper. I mean, just look at how much cheaper it is. It's so great that it's so cheap and all that stuff. But that's not the case here. I can get a Toyota Corolla for maybe $1,000 more. Maybe actually $400 more. That's not that much more expensive. The Kia Forte was a real bargain at $19,000. It was essentially one of the cheapest new cars left. Granted, there were a few cheaper cars still hanging on at the point in which it was sold. But now, the Kia K4 has raised the price by like $2,000, man. Nearly $3,000 with 990 at the end there. So this is just to show you that the Kia K4 really isn't that cheap compared to its competitors. Now, in people's minds, they place it up against the Camry and the Accord. That's really where the Kia K4 is going to get the edge over, is because people are going to compare it because of its shape, because the way that Kia styled it, more towards bigger sedans. So if it has major success, that's why I would attribute it to, because they're not comparing it against the Corolla and the Civic, which are marginally more expensive. They're comparing it to the $8,000 more Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. Well, here's the comparison of those three vehicles in two areas, the highlights and the engine. I'm using Cars.com car comparison tool. I highly suggest you use it before you buy your next car. Compare it against the competitors. It'll even show you an estimated price of when it was new. So, we have the Toyota Corolla on the left, the Kia K4 in the middle, and the Honda Civic on the right. Now, we can see that the Toyota Corolla is the most powerful, but the Toyota Corolla is also the least expensive, but it's also rated the least for the consumer rating. We can also see that the Kia K4 is safely right in the middle. Now, it it makes less power than the Honda Civic, but it is also the cheapest marginally out of these three cars. We can also see that the Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla, since they're in lockstep, they're like two rams with their horns locked together, right? They've been the same for a while, and they will continue to be the same. But they both have the same number of miles per gallon. Meanwhile, the Kia K4 sits at just about 2 to 1 less than they have on average, probably 1.5 because it averages out between the two of them. They all make similar horsepower with, we've already gone over that. Yeah, so essentially all the cars are similar. The Kia K4 provides a cheaper option and a least powerful option, but hey. Usually this section would be used for a weird Chinese EV that Forrest's auto reviews would cover that can jump 6 feet in the air. But since we're just covering an average everyday sedan, a sedan that I've wanted to cover for a while, let's just go over what, the features are. So each of them has their own different wheels. If you're wondering what Smart Trunk is, it's essentially you stand behind the car with your key fob, you press a button, and then the trunk pops open. Revolutionary, I know. The LX and the LXS are limited to just a gray and black tricolor cloth seating trim, but if you get the EX, you have an optional green seating trim, which I will show you in a little bit. The EX has either gray or black, and then the GT line has either gray, white, or red. So that's pretty fascinating. The GT line is a turbo, therefore it makes more horsepower. It's generally pretty fair naming scheme, pretty fair trim level scheme, Also, if you want dual zone climate control, you're going to have to get the EX or above. They also have rear AC vents in the GT line turbo, so that's nice. Alright, well here's me futzing around with the interior. If you get motion sick, you may have to look away. But it has a digital gauge cluster, cloth seats, not cloth seats, fabric seats. These are not the nice comfortable cloth of your 2008 Honda Accord, I can tell you that. The steering wheel looks pretty generic with an offset KN car logo. I thought that controversy was hilarious. This is it in the green. I mean, it looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The green, I think, is kind of ugly, but if you get a green exterior, which is not available, then I guess it wouldn't be that bad. Alright, well, here we are. This is why is it popular? I think a big part of it is the name change, honestly. I think that is absolutely it. Everyone knows that the Kia Fortes are shit. If you own a Kia Forte, they're fine. There's nothing really wrong with them except for the fact that some of them catch fire. That's not an allegation. It's not a serious statement from me, Kia. Okay, I'm not saying that your cars burn down. I'm just saying that they have burned down in the past. For electrical fires. Everyone knows that the Kia Fortes aren't of the highest quality. If you own a Kia Forte and it's good for you, that's fantastic. But it's kind of a fact of life. But the issue is we're getting two things happening here at the same time, right? We're getting Kia being one of the most popular car brands, Kia styling getting into fashion, Kia leading the car industry. We're getting all these things. So Kia, the overall view of Kia is good. And Kia's car that has been probably sticking around the longest, that probably leaves the worst taste in the buyer's mouth, the Kia Forte, has gone and been replaced with a new modern-looking sedan. The best part is the Kia Forte never got redesigned to associate this new design language with the old Kia Souls that would burn down and that crap. They canceled the Kia Soul. This new image of Kia is an image that they want to protect and defend with their life, because they see how Toyota gets by. Toyota gets away with the exploding, catching on fire GR Corollas. Again, not a statement. They're getting away with that because of their reputation. If Kia can have a reputation like that, they'll be able to get away with it again. And they just aren't right now. So now it's time for me to give my overall opinion of the Kia K4. And my opinion is, it's fine. I like it, I guess. I don't hate it with a burning passion, and I like that it's the cheapest on the market. We're always going to need cars like that, right? If we don't have cars like that, then what are our children, what am I when I'm like 84 going to be modding, right? There's going to be no more Kia Rios, there's going to be no more Honda Fits lying around, right? We're going to need cheaper cars that would be fun to mod, and I think these would be great. But not only from that standpoint, if you want to buy one, buy it, sell it before the warranty runs out, or just after the warranty runs out. Seriously, take my advice. If you want to buy one, I'm not opposed to that. They're fine, they're very reliable, they're semi-luxurious, they're built kind of well. Kia seems to be trying to improve their reputation, and I think people are forgetting that the Kia fires and those issues and stuff are not that far away anymore. They act like that was just, that was like 10 years ago. Kia doesn't really have that reputation. They were having issues like that with people getting like loaners for like 2 or 3 months at a time and getting like 4 or 5 new CVTs. Just like a year ago with the Santa Cruz, right? The Hyundai Santa Cruz. This is Hyundai Kia as a generalization. So they're still having issues like this. So definitely beware of that. But the Kia K4 is good. I generally liked the Forte more. The Forte was more of a sedan. I don't like Kia's language. If I had it my way, every single car would go back to looking like the blobfish 2010s, like the 2010 Camry, maybe the 2012 Camry, that's where I think the golden age of cars in automobiles was. But it's a fine car. it can drive. It has 4 wheels. It has 5 seats. If you want to buy it and you can afford it, and it's fine. And also, this may be the difference between you putting out like a lease or financing a new Honda Accord or buying a K4. Buy it. I mean, it's fine. Just sell it before the warranty runs out. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And my overall opinion of the car, thumbs up or thumbs down, is thumbs up. It's fine. The thumbs in the middle. It's okay. It's not that bad, but it's not as hyped up as everyone's hyping it up to be, right? It's not the next Corolla.